Righty. Now this is a evening stream again. Hope the day will be frequent and productive. Productive. What the fuck? Okay. So now let's see. I gotta pause this side video and maybe change the Super Mario on something else. Yeah. There we go. Final Fantasy VIII. Closing some unnecessarily open tabs. And yeah, let's get going. The thing that I want to work on now is when I have a sequence room where we have like traps and so on, and that you have to complete the sequence itself. I want you to interact with this dude instead of stepping on the panel, because the panel kind of feels cheap. It doesn't add anything. And then I was thinking about maybe this dude could be juggling or have a circle above his head that these numbers circle round and round and round, and then when you interact with him, suddenly one will stop and hover here, and that will mean something. So it's a bit more of a gamble. The player will kind of think that he's in control, but I'm not sure how this will be implemented. We'll see. I think I call this guy Boo Boo. Oh. This is actually dice 2. Yo, Logan. Good evening, buddy boy. How are you? And this is Boo Boo. Normal. Okay, then we have Angry State. How was your sleep, dude? Accidentally slept in. Oh. Of course, good hubby. That's nice. She's gonna be happy when she's gonna see everything in place. I believe that. Just regarding this one. So, how long did you sleep, man? I know that you went to sleep very late. I mean, did you have a good night's sleep? Or good morning sleep, or how should I say it? I'm adding a little bit of space here. Because if I'm gonna outline this thing sometime in the future, maybe we're gonna need more space. So it's 32 by 35, let's make it 36, like that. And we're gonna try to follow this. So it's 37, what did I put 37 here? Washing the dishes again, dude? Do you still have gloves on? Oh man. Oh, that's a good night's sleep, right? Alrighty. Pulling this one here. What do you think about this, dude? Now instead of interacting with the panel that you step on, that you start the minigame, you're gonna go to this dude that juggles like dices or die, if it makes sense. It's gonna rotate around him like that. Ooh. And then if it's a harder difficulty, it's gonna have more dices with higher numbers. And based on that... Cool, right? And if you mess up something, he becomes angry. He deals damage and so on. I'm not sure if you were here. Dice is plural. Thanks, dude. Well, but what I was thinking about earlier, I believe that you went away already. But I was thinking about penalties. Let me check out. I have a penalty system now somewhere that I'll take into account. So, by penalty, if you mess up a minigame, you will be able to take 25%, 50%, 75%, or lose 25%, 50%, 75% gold. You know, this is like taking damage, losing gold and so on. If easy enemies are going to be spawned, medium, hard. If you're going to lose one random item, you know, all of the minigames are going to have the penalties from this pool. But the harder the minigame, higher the number. I mean, higher chance of taking a very bad penalty. Not sure if you saw this, but I was thinking about the system like that. And then lose skill point, lose meta coin. Not really. Don't have them implemented yet. Still implementing the whole system. I still have to implement the check that the pattern has to be matched and so on. But yeah, I believe it's gonna be cool. I mean, interesting. I mean, the dude would have personality, you know. You go to him, he would be juggling this dice around. Yeah, huh? That's a nasty meta, huh? I mean, but that would be only in level, you know, like higher level. I was thinking about maybe I could indicate what are the costs, what can happen if you mess up. You know, like we could have item 25, icon for damage 25%, and then you would know maybe what's in store for him. Now that I think about it, what if we have two boo-boos in? And this is where you choose your difficulty, and this is where you choose your penalty. And this dude juggles like the punishments in this minigame, and this one juggles difficulties. Well, you know, so before you start, before you interact with this, or before you interact with any, you see, okay, and this tricky thing, I can be penalized by these things. But the difficulty is gonna be like that. Like, do. And then you would go to this one, choose your difficulty, and then go to this one and choose your penalty. And that'd be it. But once you interact with any, you have to commit, you know. So it wouldn't be every time available to lose an item, you know. Yeah. Just brainstorming, maybe to indicate that this is an evil boo-boo, and this one punishes you. He could have like horns or something. So you know, oh no, this dude is nasty. You're right, but the eyes are a bit different, right? These are neutral, and these are kind of. And maybe there could be like a mini game, you know, that the timing would matter. So if you press it at the right time, you could choose, you know, a lesser penalty. It'd be a unique thing. I didn't see a system like this before in any other game. What do you say? Maybe he's not even gonna need horns. Let me just try it out a bit. If it's gonna look half decent, maybe yes, maybe no. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's an indie game, so we have the opportunity to be innovative a bit, huh? Yes, and we make more like of an angry bull face or something. Well, this looks like a pacifier. What if I take the Fury Bull? See what can I salvage from him. But this would be cool because, for example, if you have like 6 difficulties in each minigame, you know, to increase the chance of one difficulty, I'd add more dices with that number in it, and so on. Let's not make it the same, but kind of similar in a way. I just want to see what I made with the nose here. Always just playing with the pixels. Nothing too serious yet. Wider face. Slimmer up here. This doesn't look good because this is the place of shadow already. Which means that this should be this color. Or maybe even darker. Yeah, that's true. Like that, and then we have to make an outline. One is the opportunity giver, other one is punisher. Oh, now that I'm making an eye like that, he seems wiser wise wolf rather than a bull. Too much. Can also add again some kind of indicators when the statue cracks when you complete the minigame or something. Maybe I don't have to play with the color like that. I like it. It gives it more of a personality. Similar but not the same. And if I decide that something new has to be added, we can use the body, swap the faces with something if something new meta is gonna be included in the future. And that's it. Like that. I think this is perfect now. I mean, good enough. What do you say, Logan? Good head? Maybe this connection here. Both kind of a Zen mode, but yeah. Opportunity Giver and the Punisher. Yeah, there's not gonna be third. So this one is obsolete. Because we're gonna have only two of them. So, look, I'm gonna be very creative. Opportunity one is gonna be Oppo. And Punisher one is gonna be Pupu. So first you interact with this one, so you select the difficulty, but by interacting either with any here, they lock the exit. So you have to, once you touch one, you're locked in. You know? That's gonna be the trick. And I'm starting to like it. It could be, right? But you know what? This here was my complete bluff how I drew the dude. Now drawing rabbit would be interesting. But then again, if I think about it, you know, rabbit and a fox, they're like... My company's name is HyperFox Studios, so it could be a fox head. Which is punishing. You know, fox is a predator to rabbit. So the first one would be rabbit. Prey, predator. That could also go. I mean, we can play with it a bit. Why not? I can nuke this away. Put it here on this side. And I drew a couple of fox masks for the game itself, so I have somewhere a big sprite sheet for that. Not, what is that, isoline? So, for the source I could take something... These are all the items I have to create, look at that. Mage said, I want this one soon, this one, this is a high-tech helm, scorpion's masks, a rat tail. All sorts of stuff are behind, but I have to come up with clever stats. Okay, we could take, for example, this fox. Whew. I mean, in the end we could kind of assign masks to them. The heads would be more of a normal size, but we'll see how well I'll draw. I don't have bunny yet, huh? I think for Reynard I drew bunny costume once. But bunny could be easier. Than the fox. And what I basically have to do is increase the length of the ears. And we have to start messing with his face a bit, and of course making him a bit puffier. Starting to look like one, but of course it's not gonna be gold. Take a reference. Pixel art bunny head. They make me laugh. Lots of different bunnies, and it's burning my eyes. Okay, bunny, bunny, bunny. It has to look a bit more grim. Shouldn't look too happy. So maybe I'm gonna start with an outline of the ears. I think I found a good reference. It has to go a bit like that. Those are big bad ears. Phew. And of course spacing has to be even. What is it like? No, this is bear. Bear nose or bear eyes. Okay, bunny eyes. Too much of a bear nose. Uh-huh. Oh God, what have I gotten into? Two angry eyes. A bit better. Maybe making his face a bit slimmer. Hmm. Getting there, but maybe his ears are just a tiny bit too big. Hey, maybe the bunny kill count could affect something regarding the dices. Or dice. Not dices. Oh, that looked retarded. The rolling bunny toad. Scope expander strikes again. That's true. Had nowhere this written down, but it suddenly felt like the most important thing ever. He's too chunky, too fat in his chin or cheeks. Either it's that or I have to put this back like that. Separate the ears and recreate the face. Have to take a look a bit of more of references. Ooh. Maybe more pointy. Now the face doesn't match again. Yeah, right. You're absolutely right about that. Hey, a bit better. Like smaller eyes. think he's starting to look more like a bunny. Wow, dude, now to remember that this one or this one. No, that one was better. Yes, exactly. Especially with the delay. Well, the eyes are more on the side, that's for sure. But this one's even better. What am I doing? Okay, we're gonna leave this kangaroo. Looks like a kangaroo if you ask me. Oh, we'll see what the internet's gonna name it. That's it. That's the thing it's gonna be. Okay. Tomorrow we draw again. Bunny, and then some kind of an imitation of a fox. I mean, this bunny looked kind of bunny-ish. No? Kinda like a bunny. What if I would just use the side profile masks or something? Make it bigger. Recolor it. Nah, not for now. Okay. Now the fox. Trying to nail the ears. Getting there, a bit better. Maybe just She needs more puffiness on the side. Ah, the fox is getting good, I believe. Much better than bunny. Still have to do something with the ears, but... Fox versus kangaroo. Maybe that's good as it gets regarding the fox. What is it saying? Is it solid? Thanks, dude. We're gonna have to redraw, but I kind of want to redraw it now, you know. The bunny. Do you like the highlights like this, or is it better like that, stonish? Yeah, exactly. I agree what you say, dude. Okay, saving it. Have to move on. Can't help myself, man. call it Fox Shrine. And then the other one is gonna be Bunny Shrine, at least for now. But it's not a shrine, it's a statue. Okay, okay. Bunny statue and fox statue. Now we gotta create them. I know that we're gonna need some interaction component, so I might as well take a look how the chest is created. I have an animatable body and navigation obstacle. So height 30 is okay, but radius should be like 4. Maybe the transform should be 0, and then I just move this up. And regarding this, I toggle this like that. Here we add scripts interactables bunny statue. Huh. Maybe, just maybe, I should create one component that's gonna be like, how should I say, spinning those dices around. Dice. But we should make it kind of more modular. How should I call it? It's like a bag where you have like all the penalties and difficulties, and you pick things from it. I'll see. I'll ask Mr. GPT. For a scene, I'm looking for a scene name for my roguelite. The scene itself rotates rewards or penalties, and on interaction Circle of Fates, Fates Dial, Oracle Wheel. I kinda like Circle of Fates. Or the Turning Shrine. Yeah, that makes sense as well. But it's not an ordinary shrine where you put stuff on. So I wouldn't like to name it shrine because I'd confuse it with the shrines that I have in game. Spindle of Fate, what is that? Risk altar. But it's not only risk. It is. Let's call it a risk dial. That seems like a good name for it. Obelisk is good for stone things. Yeah, it could be like obelisk, but I'm gonna make a separate component, like a dial, you know. When those things spin around, and when you interact with this obelisk or statue, then that dial spins, and so on. Yeah, I'm gonna call it risk dial because it's gonna be circular. And this, why the hell am I always trying to go that way? It'd also be cool if it would be circling around like that. Just a second. Let's see. Scripts. Risk reward, huh? You know, like, first I'm taking the difficulty, then I'm taking the penalty. Oh my god. They're calling me to bed. I mean, Sandman's calling me. Kind of. Risk dial. Yeah. Let's try like that, and then we're gonna rename it if I wanted something else. Basically, it's gonna be interactable. Node 2D by default. And we're gonna say this is risk dial. We're saving it here. And the thing that it's gonna have a pool of things. I don't know. Maybe we could say let's make a base class dial just. And then we can start extending stuff. The risk dial comes from dial. Reward dial. Yeah, reward dial, because reward can be bad and it can be good. You reward somebody with something evil. And then I have a reward type. And I pick out of those reward types, which can be different things. I guess that's how we're gonna go. So again, for the confusion, this is how it goes when you plan stuff. Let's call it reward dial. And the dial itself can be removed. And we can create a new resource. Reward dial resource. Or entry resource, like that. Okay. So one thing can be penalty type and difficulty type. And we could split this further, like reward dial, penalty entry resource. Okay, and the last one is Now either I go split this in like gazillion freaking things, or I keep it simple and I make a general class that contains dial entry, and this can have a penalty entry, and penalty type can be by default none or something. I add additional entry in it, and then I parse the things I want from it, and that probably make the most sense. Not creating like 3000 subclasses, sub-resources. I did something similar for achievements. I could say here int. Yes, exactly. Keep it simple. Oh, I was thinking that you gave me a kiss, man. And let's go with... This is like, I could say difficulty. Thanks, dude. Mwah. There we go. Bromance all the way. All across the Atlantic. Difficulty weighs amount. Okay. Then we're gonna go nuts a bit later. So now we have reward dial. And we're gonna have like pool of these rewards. Here. The icon should be specified somewhere. Let's call it reward dial entry type, not only icon type. And then we're gonna have like an abstract thingy called value or something, which we can then use. Okay. And this thing is going to be mapped to icons and to everything a bit later. Amount is friendlier. Say guys, there's just one thing. I'm gonna have to go lay down. The eyes and the brain is starting to shut off. So tomorrow is good. It's gonna be a productive day because little one is going back to kindergarten. So I think I'm gonna have a lot of undisturbed time, okay? And we'll continue implementing this. So Logan, see you, dude. I just have to go. I have to lay down. It's 11:30 like here. Good night, mate.